Hello, welcome back to Canada Top to Bottom and another express entry draw. So today is November the 9th, 2022, and we have had the 10th all-program draw since draws resumed, which was back in July this year. It was July the 6th earlier this year when the first all-program express entry draw happened in almost over 18 months. So was very exciting back in July, and it's continued to happen every 2 weeks since then. So we're now on draw number 10 on November the 9th, and the CRS cutoff score continues to drop, which is very encouraging. The score in today's draw was 494 points was the cutoff score, the CRS cutoff score. That has only dropped 2 points since the last draw, which was 2 weeks ago. So the score 2 weeks ago was 496. Today the score is 494, so it's only dropped 2 points, but 2 points is better than nothing, and it shows that it's still going in the right direction. So when the draws resumed on July 6th this year, the score was 557, which was shockingly high. So we've dropped and dropped and dropped and dropped since then. So today, 494 points. That's a 63-point drop since draws resumed almost exactly 4 months ago. So 63 points dropped in 4 months. If we continue to head in that kind of direction, then it's looking pretty positive.
Yeah, there were 4,750 candidates invited to apply from all programs: federal skilled worker, federal skilled trade, and Canadian experience class. And that is the same number that were invited 2 weeks ago. So our speculation is that they've now capped out how many people they're going to invite in each draw. For the previous 9 draws, the number of people that they increased each time, the number of people that they invited each time increased, and that increase has stopped. So they've stopped at 4,750. So maybe it'll go up to 5,000, but I think this is kind of the point at which they think, okay, that's all we can process every 2 weeks. And so that leaves 230,000 people in the express entry pool. Now, until today, there were 958 people with a CRS score of over 600. They've all been offered invitations to apply. Thanks to the hand effect. I like that. 1,200 people with a score of over 501 or more.
Gone.
And 63,500 people with between 451 and 500. More specifically, there were 4,360 people with a score between 491 and 500, and around half of those will have gone in this draw. So that leaves, we think, about 2,000 to 2,500 people
with a score of over 490.
With a score of over 490. So obviously they will be getting added to, because you've got those 2,500 people, but everyone that joins the express entry pool between now and the next draw gets added, and they may have a score of over 490. But are we going to make a prediction?
Oh, I think that the next draw in 2 weeks will be under 490. I think. So in 2 weeks' time, so today the score was 494. It has dropped every draw in the last 10 draws. And looking at the current distribution in the express entry pool, I think we're going to be left, well, obviously the only people left currently are people with a score of 493 or lower. There might be a few with 494 who missed the cutoff because of the date that you apply. That's how they work it out. If there are too many people with a score of the lowest cutoff score, they look at the date at which you applied. So there might be some people still with 494, but everybody else has got less than that. So if we are assuming that there are around 2,500 people still in the draw with a score of 490 to 493, if in 2 weeks' time they take another 4,750 people, I think that the cutoff score is going to be low. So I'm just going to throw it out there. I think it's going to be 489.
All right. You heard it here first.
Well, what's yours?
493.
493. Okay, I'm going optimistic.
Good, I like it.
Okay, so what else? So in our news video last week, we talked about how the Canadian government has released its new immigration targets, and they are hoping to continue increasing immigration more and more and more and more every year, like really ambitious targets. They're aiming to bring 500,000 new immigrants into the country by the end of the year 2025. That's just in 1 year. So in the calendar year 2025, they want 500,000 new immigrants to land in Canada. Ambitious, yeah. I would say that is quite ambitious, considering the shambles that the IRCC have proved themselves to be over the last few years, and the horrific backlogs that are still there. They are reducing, but they're not reducing quick enough, in my opinion. So yeah, we still have a huge backlog. The next thing I wanted to talk about was next year, the immigration targets. They want over 80,000 immigrants to be admitted to Canada as permanent residents, specifically through express entry. So the target for 2024 is just express entry. They want over 100,000. They want 110,000 new permanent residents just through the express entry streams. So through the programs we've just talked about, federal skilled workers, federal skills trades, and Canadian experience class. Obviously, there are lots of other ways to come into Canada. You can be sponsored by family members. You can come through provincial nominee programs, etc. But just express entry. So what we're talking about now with the CRS points, they want to get over 80,000 people into Canada next year. So it does indicate that the score will continue to drop. They will continue to invite people because they've got a very ambitious targets that they want to hit.
And we will continue to do our express entry shows. Excuse me. I've been out all day in the cold. It's cold in BC right now, and I was out in it all day. Don't feel sorry for me though. I was out skiing. So we will continue to do our express entry shows every second Wednesday, or whenever there's a draw. It seems to be every second Wednesday, and it was just me doing them, and now it's both of us, which is a lot nicer. And we're going to keep doing them live because it feels a little bit more fun and interesting than just me on my own talking. And we'll also do every second Sunday a Canadian immigration news show. We did the first one last Sunday, a few days ago, and we'll do that every second Sunday. So every second Sunday there'll be a news show. Every second Wednesday there'll be an express entry draw show, hopefully, if they keep going, and 2 other videos as well in that 2-week period. So Wednesday and Sunday, check back in. Half the videos will be live, and the others will be incredibly helpful and engaging and amusing, and
of course,
everything.
Yeah, because Canadian immigration is a constantly changing and evolving thing. There is always more news. There is always more immigration news. There are new programs opening up. There are new pathways opening up, new ways for people to turn their temporary residence into permanent residents, how to come and live in different parts of Canada, because Canada is very much invested in their immigration targets. They want people to come. They're very clear that they want people to come. So it's not just a fixed thing. It's not just this is what it is, so this is how you can do it. It's constantly changing, constantly evolving, new instructions coming out, new things that you can do to come to Canada. So a news show is it's important and it's interesting because it's always different. It's never the same. So stay tuned.
Is that all we got this time?
What else have we got? If you don't know anything about express entry, if you have no idea what we're talking about, then we have a video.
I don't know if you can link on live streams, so
maybe not. But we do.
You'll find it.
We do have a video in our repertoire explaining all about express entry. So it's the most popular way to come to Canada, and it's theoretically the quickest way to come to Canada, although it hasn't really been that quick over the last few years, but apparently it's getting quicker.
Got us here, but it wasn't very quick.
No. And final thing I want to say today is provincial nominee programs, or PNPs, may well be the way forward come next year. So spring 2023, new targeted express entry draws are going to be implemented by the IRCC, and they are going to focus quite heavily on provincial nominee programs. So we would recommend that you start considering where you would like to live in Canada, maybe narrowing it down to 1, 2, or 3 provinces and having a look at what is available there, what the job shortages are, what the labour market looks like, and looking at trying to apply through a provincial nominee programme.
And we've got a playlist with all provincial nominee programs and a few other specialist geographically based immigration programs like the Atlantic Immigration Program and Rural and Northern. So check those out. You can find them in our playlist elsewhere on YouTube. That's all we got, right?
That's all we got.
Well done to everyone who got drawn.
See you soon.
Bye.